sort of here so that I can address everyone at once. I'm Quinn Pregliasco with Dante's Partners, and we are here today to talk to you guys about 888 New Jersey Avenue. So that is right on the corner of New Jersey, 8th Street and 2nd Street. Right now it's currently a parking lot with some construction vehicles parked, so it's vacant land that is being leased to other people until it's useful, and we would like to make it a useful lot. So next slide. So we're going to run through the team and the updated concept. So if you see Capital Vista Community Partners or Voltron Community Partners, and they're two different things, and Dante's Partners, explain sort of what that is. So the name of the group developing, it's not just Dante's Partners, it's a group of us. We came together and decided to name it Voltron Community Partners, but it's Dante's Partners, Kitty Group, Spectrum Management, Bailey Real Estate Holdings, and Denadra and Company. So that is to say it's a lot of developers with a combined net worth of more than 60 million. We've completed 5 projects together so far, and we have over 40 combined years of real estate development experience in DC. And we have a shared vision of really producing workforce housing. And in terms of when we talk about workforce housing, what does that mean? Think about it in terms of the jobs of people who qualify for this sort of vague term, right? So it's a Capitol Hill staffer, it's a preschool teacher, it's hairdressers, it's senior citizens on a fixed income. You know, there are a lot of federal employees in the city. It's a GS8 level federal employee. All qualify as people that we would be building this housing for. So then, why workforce housing? As you all know, and you've seen developers come through with a lot of different presentations, there is a lot of housing being built in this area. A lot of it is market rate housing. So our goal is to build workforce housing, because if you make $45,000 a year, you can't afford a studio apartment at $2,000 a month. And God forbid you have a family or want any door to close. So we presented to you in November, and we wanted to come back and just give you a heads up of what our updated program and concept are. So we've gone back to our original proposal to the city, so a unit count of 100 units of workforce housing, 11-story building, and the number of units that are studio, 1-bedroom, and 2-bedroom have changed, but it's the same percentages that we presented on a 72-unit model, just now larger because it's 100 units. That is the location, which, as I said before. So then getting into the pretty pictures, because that's the fun part. So we're looking for neighborhood serving retail on the ground floor. So it's about 3,000 square feet of that. And then also there'd be a residential entrance on the ground floor with a fitness center, a community room, bathroom, sort of things like that. You go up the elevators, and a typical layout, you can see it's a very narrow site. So there's not even room for units on both sides. But then at the top, there would be a courtyard and roof deck, as well as some green roof to meet the stormwater management standards that we need to meet. In terms of thinking about what a very thin, narrow building looks like, you can think about the Flatiron building. So that's obviously the left side, and then on the right is our proposed design. So keep going. This is another rendering of the project, so you can see it's a lot of glass exterior, some aluminum paneling. Keep going. You can see that it's sort of set back to, if you keep going. So the question is, now, how does this benefit the community? And why should you all, what does it do for the community as a whole, other than just 100 units of workforce housing for people who make the city run? We are proposing that we will also commit $100,000 for community organizations as determined with consultation with the community. So that means with the ANC, through these meetings, we'll narrow it down. And then in terms of community engagement, to date, we've met with commissioners in May. We met with the Zoning and Planning Committee in October of last year, met with the full ANC in November, so now we're back for an update. So we have been awarded the site. And we've also met with, Councilmember Charles Allen. Didn't want to forget that. So up next is what sort of happened so far. So we're a district-based team, development team. We have really strong financial capacity, as mentioned. We've got over $60 million of deals among all of us. It's 100 units of housing, and this is interesting in that there is a new requirement if it's district-owned land, at least 30% of it has to be workforce housing. We're blowing it out of the water. We're saying, no, we want all of it to be workforce housing. This is land that was owned by the city. It was awarded through solicitation, and we think that it should all be going towards the people that make this city run. Rents are projected to be about 50% of what they are at market rate properties. And then there are the community benefits, but also the $8 million in benefits that the city will get through taxes and ground lease payments. So it's not like this building is here not contributing to the base that makes everything run. And there's a potential annual tax revenue for the project of $250,000. So we submitted our proposal to the Deputy Mayor for Planning and Economic Development in July of last year. In October of last year, we submitted a best and final offer and presented to you in November. In April, we were selected by DMPED as the partner to move forward. During the summer, while other people were on vacation, we spent a lot of time negotiating the land disposition, which has been submitted to council, and the Deputy Mayor's office feels good about it. So now it is at council waiting to be approved by them. So we thought this is a good time to reach back out to you all and talk to you. We're not asking for a letter or anything at this stage. We will be later. But then the look ahead. So this fall we're doing feasibility studies, everything from a geotechnical engineer to see what the soil is like, environmental reports, things like that, so that we know how we can build this building, make sure that everything we're assuming is dead on. And then at the end of this year or the beginning of next year, we will do a PUD submission for a zoning change in order to build the 11-story building. And then, so late summer 2017, because it takes about that long to go through the zoning commission, we will have a ruling, hope to apply for financing in late 2017, put our shovels in the ground late 2018, and early 2020 have a constructed building open with people living in it, with 100 people. So, any questions?
Anybody?
Terribly sorry I bored you.
No, not at all. I mean, we've seen you guys a couple of times, so
Yeah,
we
okay.
appreciate an update. And the fact that we don't have to do anything to get it, man, that's cool.
Cool, all right, there you go.
So come back and see us anytime, and we'll keep in touch and talk. I think you've been dealing mostly with Alex and Alfreda, so she's not going to be a commissioner as of the end of this year. She is not running again, so you may have a new person. Is that the area you are? Yeah, okay, so Kevin is the new person, and he's running unopposed, so he is the new person. So you might want to touch base with him at some point, because just update him on anything that you feel that he needs to be aware of, and we'll get you his information.
Terrific.
Absolutely,
Okay.
thank you.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for
All right.
stopping by.
All right.
Okay, President Pleasant Plains.
Sure. Thank you for having us. I'm Christina Blahnik, and I'm the founder of Pleasant Plains Workshop, which is an arts organization and arts collective that started in Pleasant Plains, but we now, besides our physical location, we do art projects all over the city. So I'm here with my colleague Deirdre Williams, and we're here to talk about a project that we're launching later this month in Shaw, and it's a Shaw-specific neighborhood public art festival that is sponsored in part by the Office of Planning and the Kresge Foundation.
Sure. So we were awarded a grant from the Office of Planning to do this project, and then the Office of Planning gave us the neighborhood of Shaw. And I think that we started working on the project maybe April or June, and we convened a community stakeholder group, and Alex Padra was on that group along with others from all over the Shaw community, which is really where this idea of what's going on, Voices of Shaw, the Public Art Festival came from. So we have here a listing of events that I can hand out. We launched from September 24th and we go through October 2nd. And we keep adding events and projects onto our website. So we have our website here. And if you want to sign up and give us your name and email, we can keep everyone in the loop. We won't spam you. We will only email you about what's going on at Voices of Shaw, so that you can stay in the loop as things get added or changed or updated.
So a little bit more background is that the Office of Planning is doing these kind of neighborhood activations in 15 neighborhoods across all 8 wards. And the purpose is to get new and older residents engaged in various types of activities. So you'll see when you hear this event, we have some visual art, we have walking tours, we have food tasting tours, and some other social events where residents can hang out in different places all across Shaw and get to know each other a little better.
You have some copies here, Dave.
Oh, sure. Or you can have mine and all of that back.
Are you tweeting anything of this stuff out?
We are, and we have a handle, it's what's going on Shaw.
Oh, good.
We've gotten a little bit of press on Border Stand about it, and we'll be on WPFW tomorrow answering some more questions about it, and we're using a lot of local artists, as well as some artists that we've invited from Detroit and other places who will be doing some performance art. And we kind of kicked off our project by doing a big group photo in front of the Wonder Bread building. So there was an open call that we put out, I think, through the Shaw Main Street listserv, our Facebook, and a whole different bunch of places. And we got 75 members of the community, business owners, residents, to pose in this really cool photo that we took in front of Wonder Bread building. And then that's going to be enlarged and hung at the intersection of 7th and Florida in the coming week or two. So look out for that in the CBS parking lot.
And we're also partnering with Art All Night
Oh, yes.
on September 24th, which is the launch of our event, but of course of Art All Night. And so one of our projects is a light-inspired public art project, which will rove around all of Shaw. So this is actually our second ANC meeting, because Shaw is in multiple ANCs, so we're just letting everyone know about the project. But anyway, so this project will rove all throughout with illuminated signs, sort of highlighting the architecture and historic sites within the neighborhood.
How much was the grant?
It was a $50,000 grant. So to put on a public art festival for $50,000 is pretty good, with all of the artists and community projects that we're doing. We're really stretching it thin.
Anybody in the audience, any commissioners have questions? Anybody out there in the audience have questions? Okey dokey.
So we hope you join us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Yeah, listing of events. They're all public art. Everything is really for the public and the public realm, pretty much. So, yeah.
There'll be stuff out on the streets, there'll be performance art, live music, and then workshops, community workshops.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
should
it's
definitely
gonna be
come out.
fun.
I like art, that's
All
why.
right, good.
Is that the-
Yes.
Okey doke, thank you so much. We appreciate you coming down. Mayor's office, the MOCAR, or one of our area, Ed Dodson.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Edward Dodson. I'm one of the two, as you said, MOCRES for Community Liaison for Ward 6 in the ward. So for those of you who don't know, pretty much any issue that you have, from small to big, you can send to me. We can send it over to the government agency. What we do in our office is work hard to connect the government with the community. So I'll give them my information now for you all who don't have my telephone number. That's 202-341-3659. Again, it's 202-341-3659. And my email is edward.doxen, DOXEN, @dc.gov. And some of the highlights from our office this week: there's currently a job opening for the DC Office of Police Complaints. They're looking for an investigator. These jobs can be found at mayor.dc.gov. And as you all know, we're currently in the search for a chancellor. So we're having the citywide community forum. We're having 3. There already has been one. The one tomorrow will be at Easton Senior High School, which is located at 1700 East Capitol Street Northeast. The nearest Metro Stadium is Stadium Armory, and that meeting will begin at 6:30 and will end at 8 p.m. And the last one will be next Wednesday, September 14th. That's the Boyd Elementary, which is located at 2400 Shannon Place Southeast. Did everyone get my email and my telephone number? Okay, and that's pretty much updates we have from the office. If you all want to sign up for the newsletter when the meeting's over, I can take down your email, and instead of giving out copies and a staple, you can just get it sent right to your email. Thank you.
So, and I have a question.
Yes.
So your partner in this is Rachel.
Yes.
So I always get confused. Is it more you or more her or both?
So
or
we-
I mean, because I tweet Ed a lot and I tweet Rachel and they respond. He has a Twitter account too, which I think is much more transparent and it's public. I prefer it.
Yeah.
But I don't quite understand. Do you divide up the?
Yeah, we try to divide the ward up a little bit, but for the most part, we just like, let's dig into it together. So
Okay.
I spend time mainly kind of Hill East, but as well as Shaw as well. So we kind of like divide it up. And with the tweeting thing, like I'm gonna be personally honest. Please do that. So my Twitter is edoxon6, and tweet out and tag in the agencies where you may be having issues with, and you may see the turnaround quicker than usual. So the Twitter thing works.
It works.
She knows.
Social media works, Twitter works. I'm a big believer in it, and as I said before, I emphasize the transparency of it. It's much better than email, because you guys can't see my emails, but you can all see my tweets.
Yeah,
and
I
all
logged
that.
in one day, I had like 8 notifications, they all from her. So, tweet. Thank you, guys.
No, she's not running again. We have to decide.
I know, then I can send them more.
Would anyone like a hard copy? I only have a few. Thank you.
Thank you for coming out.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Abra.
So, we have an application from Dasha Beer Garden for an expansion of hours inside at 1602 7th Street Northwest. Many of you will recall that the beer garden has been an extraordinary success in terms of its popularity. We did have to do a little tweaking in order to reduce some unfortunate negative outcomes that were coming from the operation, but I'm glad to be able to say that what we agreed upon has been working. Neighbors have been much relieved, this summer, that they have not had the level of disruptions from the outdoor operation. We had previously, the commission had previously supported this change in hours to allow the interior operation when it begins, and it has not begun yet. In the building that has the big mural of a young Elizabeth Taylor on it at 1602 7th Street Northwest, so they would have the standard hours of operation that most bars and restaurants in the District of Columbia enjoy, which is up to 2 o'clock on weekdays, Sunday through Thursday, and then up to 3 a.m. on Friday and Saturday. However, Mr. Klein and I neglected to make sure that the settlement agreement was very clear about the fact that those were the hours that we had approved for the interior operation, and the ABC board noted that. And so they required that the applicant re-placard with those hours for the interior operation only. And so I'm basically making your presentation.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Mr.
happy
Klein.
to add to it.
So they're here for our support, for those hours that we previously had supported for the interior operation, which is not scheduled to begin until when? Is there
We don't have a date yet.
there is no date yet. So
We needed to get through this. And we frankly thought it had been approved when we went back to ABRA, and their position was not that they were unclear as to what we agreed to in the settlement agreement, but initially, way back when the initial agreement was done, the hours were limited. Well, there was only an outside venue. There was no inside venue, and the ABC board said, well, that applies to the inside. We didn't necessarily agree, but that's the position that they took and they required that we read backward. So I think it's a mere, we hope it's a mere formality at this point, and we would ask that you support it.
So what we will be doing is a very simple, roughly one paragraph amendment to the existing settlement agreement that says that, we support the extension of hours on the interior operation only, and that all of the other provisions of the settlement agreement, and there are a number of them related to the interior operation, remain in force.
When do you anticipate the,
We don't yet have a date of,
has construction and everything
yeah,
started?
no.
No, okay. It'll be a while yet.
So we're
Be a while.
It'll be a while.
more than likely talking about 2018,
Probably.
when that would happen.
Okay.
So I would move that ANC 6E support the extension of hours for the operation of Dasha Beer Garden at 1602 7th Street Northwest, meaning the inside operation, with no changes to the exterior outdoor beer garden operations hours, and that all of the existing provisions of the settlement agreement remain in force, and that we communicate that support to the ABC Board and the Alcoholic Beverage Regulatory Administration, subject to the signing of this amendment to the settlement agreement. In the event that if the settlement agreement amendment is not signed, then ANC 6E, would protest this application. It's a mouthful.
I'll think. Well, anyone have any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nay or opposed, or just abstain?
Abstain, no.
Nay? Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4 yeas, 1 nay. The motion passes.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome.
That's all right.
I will shoot you an email. I will be gone by the time he's back, so maybe Alex can.
Okay, yeah, you
Yes,
got
I'll
my
talk
email.
to him.
Great, thank you.
Okay. I'm sorry, before we get to treasurer's report. As you all know, this commission is elected for a 2-year term on election day. This year, you will get the opportunity to choose different people to be on the commission, or vote the rest of us that want to run back in. I did take a few minutes to invite candidates to come out this evening so we can start to get to know them. Those who couldn't make it this month probably will be here next month, and those who are giving their 2 minutes this time might want to have a minute or two the next time just to make sure your face is seen. So incumbents, do you want to have a chance for 2 minutes, or you want to wait until next month?
I would suggest that we invite the new candidates and that the incumbents go last.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. I just want to make sure, I didn't ask you guys if you wanted 2 minutes. Okay, so we'll go right down through the single-member districts for those people. Single-member district 01 is Alex is the incumbent, and Mary is running against Alex. She will be the first speaker this evening. Then Tony, is Valerie here? Okay. Eugene? Sims? Okay. And Mr. Thorpe couldn't make it this evening. Kenneth?
Mr. Eugene Sims, he sent an email to you.
Who did?
Mr. Sims.
He can come next month. And Lily Roberts is on her honeymoon. Sterlicia Rodney?
Yes.
Okay. Mohammed? Okay. Phil? Oh, okay. Alex? Okay. Alan's not here, and Kevin is here. So let's go right down through the single-member districts in order, so it's no favoritism, no anything. Mary, you're first. would you like to give a short presentation of who you are and why you're running? If you wouldn't mind standing though, so everybody can. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Mary Sutherland, and I am running currently for ANC 6001. I run every 2 years, without a doubt. My concern is the community, what the community wants. But speaking for the community and actually working with the community, being their voice for them along with their voice, if that makes any sense at all. I am for affordable housing, senior citizens, employment, and the children. Very concerned about the drugs and the violence and the safety within our home and the community. I can really go on, and I will not. In actuality, I was not going to run this time, but individuals was asking me over and over and over, then I decided yes. And I said to myself, I'm not gonna go through a whole bunch of stuff because the community should know what I'm all about because I run every 2 years. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. People are my, number one, it's my weakness. And if you live in this my single member district, feel that you want to change, like I said, I'm Mary Sutherland. If you don't vote for me, I won't be mad with you because life goes on. I live here. It's your choice. And it's amazing because some people think that I get mad when they don't vote for me. You know, no, I do not. Why? It doesn't make sense. As long as you go out and vote, that's my concern. I don't care. Whatever's going on, I'm going to still do what I do and have been. I've been living at the same residence for over 50 years. Haven't moved and have no intentions on moving, although they would love to buy my home, but it's not for sale. I like to live in peace and harmony. And the area is still lacking. There's still so much wrong that needs to be made right. And it needs to be as a whole working together, not being selective. That's something I would never be, and I'm very outspoken. So, you have met Mary Sutherland, Mary A. Sutherland at that. Thank you.
Thanks, Mary. We hope we'll see you again next month. We'd like to have you come back. Single member district 02, Tony, you want to have a minute or two?
Well, thank you first of all for allowing us the privilege to make this presentation. I'm Anthony Brown, native Washingtonian, all my 60 years. So I've been in 3 wards in the city. I started out in Ward 8, stayed in Ward 6 for a while, and now here, Ward 8, 5, and 6. Okay, but I've been here in Shaw since December of 2009, and of course, since coming over here, I started getting involved with some of the things with the ANC, and I liked what I saw, and I've been coming ever since. In addition to that, I also joined the zoning committee with the ANC 6E, work along with Alex and Marge and those of us that come consistently. But I enjoy working with the commission, and it's just something that, it's just part of me. I like people. I'm a fellow retiree. I've worked 38 years in federal government, HR most of the time. In addition to my HR duties, I was also a mediator. So anytime there were workforce issues or personality clashes and things like that, I was there to mediate. Those skills I bring to the ANC. Very much a people person, I'm a father of two, got 2 grandsons, and family is everything to me. So life in the city means everything to me. Some of the things that I'm concerned about, and I would basically be here to facilitate or try to help people with their issues, and it's dealing with the residential and commercial development in the area. We have a lot of things going on now. Although they go through the committees and all, I want to continue to be that voice for not only residents, but the commercial entities that come into the city. In addition to that, parking has been a major issue for me. I live on 5th Street. My house is landlocked. I have nowhere to park in the back. So when we have street cleaning, on one side, you have to park, and then we have to move to the other side. But I stand in my front door, and I can look at parking spaces at the end of my block that I can't even park in. So yes, it is a real issue for me, and that's something that Alex and I have been working on here as of late. When we renewed when I renewed my tags, this year, we were originally 2. Somehow or another, it changed to 1. So just around my block, I can park on 2 sides here, and back 2 blocks over. I have to go on the other side of Florida Avenue to park, or around 6th Street, 7th Street, wherever I can find a park. I'm on 5th Street. So it's a real issue. So it's something that I really want to work on. I'm pretty much engaged with a lot of the community activities as they come forth from the ANC. I try to show my face and be part of the community. It's just a wonderful place to be. I just love being here. And the other things that are on my agenda are the community safety issues, maintenance, and sanitation in the area. Recently, I even experienced myself with the, growing development of restaurants. For the first time a month ago, I saw a rat run beside my house, and I have an open airway. So from the alley where the restaurants are, they come to the alley. So that's another concern that I have that I'll be working on. But I'm here to be a part of the community. I want to work with the ANC to represent those that have concerns, and be available for whatever you need for the community. All right.